Welcome back, ladies and gents. The Nintendo eShop Christmas sale has officially kicked in, and it's looking mental. I was scrolling through earlier today, and it went down, and when I refreshed, it was absolutely stacked with deals. I was a little underwhelmed by what I thought was the big holiday sale, but yeah, this one easily makes up for it. So grab a brew, clear that backlog, and let's open this video up with a Mount Rushmore gaming experience. Let's start with something that barely needs an introduction, but absolutely earns its reputation. Hades is an isometric action roguelike built around fast combat, repeatable runs, and strong narrative integration. Each escape attempt through the underworld introduces new enemy layouts, weapon upgrades, and story beats, making failure a part of the progression rather than a setback. The combat emphasizes movement, timing, and ability synergy, with multiple weapon types dramatically changing how each run feels. Between attempts, you unlock permanent upgrades and deepen relationships with characters through dialogue. These games are incredible, and I say these because Hades 2 is also on sale, and it improves on almost every aspect of the first. They both have near flawless animations and a fluidity to them that has been rarely seen in gaming. Everything about them, from the story to the progression to the responsiveness of the controls, is just brilliant. And currently you can pick up Hades 1 for £6.74 or your regional equivalent, a 70% discount. And Hades 2, being a much newer release, is only 25% off, costing £18.74 or the price shown below. Honestly, I cannot recommend these games enough. They are just masterpieces. And they are both on sale until January 6th in all regions. This next one, however, is about pure tactical clarity and decision making. Into the Breach is a turn-based strategy game built around compact battlefields and perfect information. You command a small squad of mechs defending civilian cities from alien threats, with the key twist being that the enemy actions are fully telegraphed before they happen. Each turn becomes a puzzle, asking you to reposition enemies, block attacks, and manipulate the terrain rather than simply dealing damage. The progression comes from unlocking new mech squads, pilots, and modifiers that meaningfully change how the encounters play out. The runs are short, but pretty dense, encouraging experimentation and mastery rather than long campaigns. And the absolute best thing about these games is how readable the design is. The UI is sleek and easy to understand, which makes every decision feel intentional and impactful. Into the Breach is currently £3.41 or the price on the graphic, and discounted by 70% until January 7th in the UK and Europe and January 8th in North America. But if you are after a game that blends action and puzzles tightly together, this next one's for you. Crosscode is an action RPG that mixes fast real-time combat with puzzle-heavy dungeon design. You control a character using melee attacks, ranged projectiles, and elemental abilities that interact with both enemies and environments. The dungeons rely heavily on timing, aiming, and spatial awareness, making the progression feel earned rather than passive. Outside of combat, towns and side quests flesh out the world and the mechanics, and it really is just a great little game. I really do appreciate how there's not much button mashing, it's more about the precision and paying attention. Crosscode is available for £5.39 or your country's equivalent. It's 70% off until January the 11th in the UK and Europe and January 12th in North America. This next one is brilliant. Jurassic World Evolution is a park management simulator focused on building and maintaining dinosaur theme parks. You manage habitats, research new species, and respond to disasters while balancing guest satisfaction and safety. This complete edition includes all major expansions, significantly expanding content and management options. The systems are accessible but layered, making large parks increasingly complex over time. This is every 90s kid's dream: Jurassic Park, and a mix of theme park world and theme hospital. There were some performance issues on release, but as far as I'm aware, they've all been fixed, and it's a pretty stable experience. And for £4.99 or your currency's equivalent, you really can't go wrong. You're easily looking at 50 plus hours of content here, at a 90% discount until January the 7th in the UK and Europe, and January the 8th in North America. Now let's move on to something far more oppressive and atmospheric. Metro 2033 Redux and Metro Last Light Redux are story-driven, first-person shooters set in a post-apocalyptic underground Moscow. The gameplay blends stealth, exploration, and survival-focused combat with limited resources, forcing careful decision-making rather than constant firefights. The ammunition is scarce, gas mask filters must be managed, and encounters often reward patience over aggression. Last Light expands on the systems introduced in 2033, offering more refined combat and larger set pieces while continuing the narrative directly. The best thing about these games by far is the atmosphere. Every journey through the metro feels tense and deliberate, never quite knowing what's coming around that next corner. It's dark, gritty, and most of all, pretty damn nerve-inducing. And both of these games are currently £1.59 each, or your regional equivalent, discounted by 90% until December 31st in the UK and Europe. Unfortunately, it's not quite yet on sale in North America, but here's to hoping soon. Layers of Fear 2 is a first-person psychological horror game focused on atmosphere, exploration, and environmental storytelling. You explore a vast, shifting ocean liner while uncovering fragmented memories and surreal visions that blur reality and fiction. The gameplay emphasizes slow movement, observation, and puzzle solving rather than combat, using sound design, lighting, and visual distortion to build tension. The environments frequently change as you progress, forcing you to reevaluate familiar spaces from new perspectives. The structure is linear, but the presentation constantly evolves to keep the experience unpredictable. The game 100% commits to its mood, using repetition and disorientation to create unease instead of relying on jump scares. It's a deliberate, unsettling experience designed to be absorbed rather than rushed. Layers of Fear 2 is available for just £4.04 or your regional equivalent, and is discounted by 85% until January the 12th in the UK and Europe and January the 6th in North America. And this next game will slow things down a bit with a modern take on classic JRPG design. Chained Echoes is a turn-based role-playing game inspired by classic 16-bit JRPGs, but refined with modern systems and pacing. The combat revolves around an overdrive meter that rewards balanced ability use, discouraging repetitive strategies and grinding. Exploration spans a large overworld filled with towns, dungeons, and optional encounters, while progression focuses more on skill selection and equipment over raw leveling. The narrative leans into political conflict, war, and character-driven storytelling rather than the simple hero tropes we used to get. There's mechs, airships, varied environments, and mechanical and visual variety constantly added as you progress through the game. And overall, it's just a fantastic game, and one that was designed and created by just one person over the course of 7 or 8 years. And you can really tell that it blends together the best pieces of all of the classics we all love. It's currently £11.42 or your currency's equivalent, and is 50% off until January the 11th in the UK and Europe and January the 12th in North America. And moving on, we are looking at something much smaller, quieter, and far more heartfelt. The Spirit and the Mouse is a cozy adventure game focused on exploration, light puzzles, and helping a small town one task at a time. You play as a mouse inhabited by a guardian spirit, navigating detailed environments from a miniature perspective while assisting villagers with everyday problems. The gameplay emphasizes movement, environmental interaction, and simple objectives rather than combat, keeping the experience relaxed and accessible to everyone. Throughout the game, you will unlock new abilities that open up previously unreachable areas, encouraging gentle exploration and backtracking. The town itself acts as a central hub, slowly becoming more lively as you help its resident, and it's just a wonderfully calm game. The pacing is so relaxed and intentional, it really allows the world to unfold naturally without any pressure. The Spirit and the Mouse is currently £5.86 or your regional equivalent, a 65% discount until January the 5th in the UK and Europe and January 6th in North America. Deliver Us the Moon is a first-person narrative adventure focused on exploration, environmental puzzles, and slow-burn storytelling. you play as a lone astronaut sent on a mission to uncover what happened after humanity's last attempt to save Earth failed. Gameplay centres on navigating abandoned facilities, restoring power systems, solving logic-based puzzles, and piecing together the story through audio logs and environmental details. There is no combat here, and the progression is entirely driven by observation, problem-solving, and movement through carefully constructed spaces. The experience leans heavily on the atmosphere and the fantastic lighting and sound design, and the sense of scale and isolation is just beautifully framed by the music. As I mentioned earlier, it's a slow burn. It really allows the setting and the story to breathe without rushing any moments. It's deliberate, immersive, and designed to be experienced patiently from start to finish. Deliver Us the Moon is currently £3.99 or your region's equivalent, and is discounted by 75% until January the 1st in the UK and Europe and January 2nd in North America. From quiet sci-fi to something darker and far more reactive, Drover Forsake Kin is a dark action RPG inspired by classic Gothic-style design, with an emphasis on exploration, player choice, and world reactivity. The combat is real-time and weighty, rewarding positioning, timing, and preparation, and it can be absolutely brutal. You explore a handcrafted open world where progression is driven less by traditional leveling and more by equipment, knowledge, and the choices you make. Quests often have multiple solutions, with outcomes shaped by dialogue decisions, faction alignment, and how you approach problems rather than fixed objectives. The world reacts subtly to your actions, encouraging observation and experimentation instead of handholding. And what really drew me to this game was that it looks like a pixelated Elder Scrolls game. The design is grounded and confident, and it trusts the players to learn the systems naturally over time. It's slow, deliberate, and built for players who enjoy discovery over direction. Drover Forsake Kin is currently £17.24 or your regional equivalent, and is discounted by 25% until January the 11th in the UK and Europe and January the 12th in North America. It may be a small discount, but it doesn't go on sale very often. And it's such a fantastic game that every time I see it on sale, I try my best to promote it. This next game fully shifts into character-driven storytelling. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative-focused RPG built around tabletop-inspired mechanics and branching storylines. Each in-game day gives you a limited set of dice that determine how many actions you can take, forcing careful prioritization. You choose how to spend those actions on survival tasks, relationships, and story events aboard a decaying space station. Success isn't about combat or optimization, but about managing risk, scarcity, and consequence. Over time, your choices shape both the world and the people around you. It's sleek and brilliantly designed, and the mechanics of the game really reinforce the narrative themes, making every decision feel personal and meaningful. Citizen Sleeper is available for £5.39 or the price shown on screen, and is 70% off until December 27th in the UK and Europe and December 28th in North America. The penultimate game is one I've never played and quite honestly never even heard about. Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling is a turn-based RPG inspired by classic Paper Mario style design, with a strong emphasis on timing-based combat and party synergy. The battles look like they require active input, with well-timed attacks and blocks affecting damage and survivability. You control a trio of characters, each with distinct abilities that can be combined strategically in and out of combat. The exploration features interconnected areas, side quests, and optional challenges that reward curiosity and preparation. The progression seems to focus on badges and skills rather than over-leveling, keeping the encounters engaging throughout. What really caught my eye about this game was how well-balanced and fun the combat looked. It seems quirky and approachable, but looks like it offers plenty of depth to engage with its systems. Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling is available for £5.39 or your regional equivalent, and is discounted by 70% until January the 11th in the UK and Europe, but it is yet to go on sale in North America, so watch this space. And to close things out, let's end on something quiet, reflective, and deeply human. Last Day of June is a narrative puzzle game built around themes of time, memory, and emotional loss. You revisit the same pivotal day from multiple perspectives, solving puzzles to subtly alter events and uncover new story details. Each character interacts with the world differently, and progression comes from understanding how those perspectives connect rather than mastering complex mechanics. The puzzles are intentionally gentle, allowing the focus to remain on storytelling, atmosphere, and music. It really avoids heavy dialogue exposition, instead relying on visual cues and repetition to build emotional weight. The main thing I really connected with this game was how restrained the design is. It trusted the player to engage with its themes at their own pace. It's deliberately slow, intimate, and thoughtful, and whilst being quite an emotional experience, it's just cozy. The Last Day of June is available for £3.99 or the price shown below, with a 75% discount until January the 4th in the UK and Europe and January the 5th in North America. So yeah, a pretty bonkers sale, and there is still so much more available, so for sure let me know in the comments what I've missed or what you're interested in picking up. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, be sure to like and subscribe for more eShop roundups, reviews, and general Switch shenanigans. Hopefully, some of you are blessed with significantly more restraint than myself and managed to avoid picking anything up so far, but I'll be sure to challenge that resolve in the coming weeks. As always, thanks for watching, stay cozy, and I'll see you around.